Hey everyone, Zenzo here with Tazawa Tanks, back with another video. Now, if you watched a video that I made a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, it was about being bored in the hobby and wanting to make some changes. That's coming. I've got big changes for some big tanks. I've already rehomed some fish. I'm going to be rehoming some new fish. I'm going to be buying a new aquarium and making some changes here in this fish room. Now, one of the things I did already is I got like a tall office chair for my standing desk just so that I can be more comfortable when I work down here instead of my office upstairs. And that, along with some of the changes that I'm making, I'm really looking forward to that. But I actually already bought a new aquarium that I haven't shared with you guys yet, and I'm really excited about it. I bought it a couple of months ago. I set it up. It's stocked now. So I thought what we would do is make a video and explain what's going on with that tank, why I bought it. You might be thinking, Zenzo, you told us that you were gonna like downsize and make things easier. Well, this tank that I bought and set up is actually on the easy side. So let's go ahead and go upstairs to the other office and check out this new aquarium. Okay, so now we're up in my office. We're actually 3 floors up from the fish room. And here is a 40-gallon aquarium that I purchased. It's not a 40-gallon breeder. It's 40 gallons. I don't know the exact dimensions. It's very similar to a 40-gallon breeder. It's just off by an inch or two in either direction. But basically it's 36 inches wide. I don't know the height and the depth, but it is a 40-gallon tank. And it's one of those better made aquariums. I don't remember the brand, but it's like a better quality glass and silicone and comes with a glass top and everything, and a really nice built-in stand. The reason I bought this is I wanted to have an aquarium that I could kind of dedicate to keeping perfect all the time for work. So for those of you that don't know, I work full-time in the aquarium industry. I work with Aquarium Co-op and a couple other brands. And I wanted to just have a tank that was just set up perfectly without like algae and snails and just stuff that I don't want in photos or videos. So I wanted to set up kind of an easy planet tank. And I wanted to try something that I've never had success with before. A lot of you might know this, and that's shrimp. Now, I've had success with a mono shrimp, and those have done very well for me over the years. I keep them in freshwater, planet tanks, brackish tanks, and I've never had an issue with a mono shrimp, but I've been terrible at keeping cherry shrimp. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, why, Zenzo, are you having an issue with cherry shrimp? What was it that you were doing wrong? And the truth is, I don't know. I would talk to shrimp experts. I would get advice from viewers, and a lot of you would comment on things that I should or shouldn't do with cherry shrimp. So I've taken all that information, I've taken all that knowledge that everyone else has, and I have tried to apply it to this aquarium. So first things first, what I did is I put down a full layer of crushed coral as a substrate. So even though we have gravel in here, I put a layer of crushed coral down, so that way I've got the buffering quality capabilities and can improve the hardness of the water and the ability for it to hold buffers. I also planted this entire tank with a tremendous amount of plants. So I had some plants downstairs, just from propagating from other tanks, and I put those in here just to kind of start them off. And then I also got a bunch from Aquarium Co-op. Now, I don't remember all the plants that I have, and I wouldn't be able to point those out to you and tell you which ones are which. Some of them I know very easily. So I have a list here of all the plants that I got. So I have a couple of banana plants in there. I've got an Amazon sword. I have a red flame Amazon sword, or red flame sword in there. I've got some Monte Carlo in there that I'm growing to be a carpeting plant, because I've always wanted like a nice carpet of plants, and I've never had the right tank, or I've never done it correctly. So I figured this would be the right situation for me to have like a nice carpet of Monte Carlo. So I've got Monte Carlo in there. I've got a bunch of different crypts in there. So I've got a couple Lutias. I've got Lucens, Tropica, Crypt Parva, some green crypts. I've got Crypt Wendeti, red, green. So there's a bunch of plants in there. I want to say that when I got my order from Robert at Aquarium Co-op, the manager of Aquarium Co-op, I got like 20 or something plants in there, and they were all like really good ones. So I'm very excited about that. I also have a dwarf aquarium lily. That was one that I had downstairs, so I just transplanted it up here. It was actually not doing very well in another tank down in my fish room, so I brought it up here and it's flourishing. And then there's also a bunch of jungle valve. Now I had jungle valve that was like 2 feet or longer, just like growing really tall. So I pulled them out and put them in here. Now I did have a lot of melt back, but they're starting to come back a little bit. So that's gonna kind of be the back wall. So eventually I'm gonna have like a big back drop, a back wall of jungle valve that I'll have to trim. And then I've got all these smaller plants in the foreground. So basically what I wanted is I wanted a very lush, but not too densely planted aquarium with plants. And so I've got like the whole jungle thing downstairs, the one with a couple of discus in there. That tank's kind of a mess, and I didn't want to have that here. I want this to be very aesthetic, very pleasing, and easy to manage, which is why I don't really have any fish in there, and I don't plan on having any fish in there. I want to do the shrimp justice and really try to do it without having a bunch of fish in there to kind of change things or mess things up. I do have 2 autosynclus in there. I put them in there just to kind of help with some of the algae cleaning, although I probably don't need them because of the Amano shrimp. And then I've got all those cherry shrimp. Now, as far as stocking, I bought 75 or 76 red cherry shrimp. I have had a few losses. I think I've lost a total of 4 or 5 over the past 2 or 3 weeks now. So I feel like that's not a huge drop off as far as the number of shrimp. And I did a test first and made sure that, everything was fine. And then I've got 8 Amano shrimp in there. So lots of Amano shrimp, lots of cherry shrimp. There's more shrimp than there is things for them to eat. I don't have enough biofilm or anything like that in there. So I am adding fish food. I've got the shrimp, the shrimpy food from Extreme. I'm also putting the sinking wafers in there as well, so that, the autosynclus and the shrimp have plenty to eat. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure that if I don't see enough algae and detritus and stuff for them to feed on, that I'm actually putting in food. And I've been doing that on a consistent basis almost every day. I've got a sponge filter in there. I am running CO2. So in here we do have kind of a higher tech setup. So I am running compressed CO2. So I've got a cylinder under here. I've got the Aquarium Co-op regulator, and I've got all the necessary things, a diffuser in there. As far as lighting right now, I'm running a Phoenix light. This is a 36-inch Phoenix Stingray, the Gen 1, I believe. And I'll put a link of that down below or up here somewhere. And then when the new Aquarium Co-op lights come out in the near future, then I will be switching out that light and putting in the new light as well. Other than that, pretty straightforward. It's got a sponge filter. I'm not sure if I'm going to add any more filtration. I might. I do have like a power head, and I could put like a sponge pre-filter on there or something if I feel like I need some more movement. But for now, just the airstone and the sponge filter seems to be working fine. And the goal is just for me to keep this thing looking really good, sharp all the time. Now, I do have a couple of other aquariums in here that kind of get a little neglected, and I've kind of like, I don't want to say given up, but it's just not a high priority. They're healthy. I do water changes. I top them off. I feed them. They're planted. It's just they don't look great on camera. So a lot of what I do, things need to look good on camera for work. So I can't use those tanks. Some of the tanks downstairs I can't use, but this is one that I want to be able to use all the time. So the fact that I do the majority of my work in this office, probably, now that I got that chair, maybe 80% of my work is done in this office, and then maybe, the other 20% downstairs. I am going to be spending a lot of time looking at this tank, as it's only just, a few feet from my desk. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully you enjoy me getting into shrimp and trying something different again. I would welcome your pointers on keeping shrimp. I did make like a little Instagram thing where I showed how I was drip acclimating. People said, oh, why are you acclimating? And I explained that I've, had problems before. So I wanted to make sure that it was, I'm taking extra precaution. Some people said my drip was too fast. Some people said I was doing it right. But anyway, I'm not an expert in shrimp. I've kept Amano shrimp, I've kept ghost shrimp and other things like that, but I've never had success with cherry shrimp before. So please do comment down below. Let me know what you think about my setup. Let me know what you think I should keep in mind when it comes to keeping my shrimp healthy. My goal is for them to just thrive in here, for them to breed and have lots of cherry shrimp that I can, you know, give away or sell or donate or whatever. I'm really not in the position, or I don't have a need to, like, you know, sell fish for profit or sell shrimp for profit. So I might, like, you know, just bring them to the club or something every now and then. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this new 40-gallon setup. Right now, it's my favorite tank. Even though, like, it doesn't have my favorite fish in there or anything like that, it's my favorite tank just because I see it all the time and I'm liking how it looks so far. So, yep. Thanks again for watching. And if you have not done so already, please do subscribe. It really does help. I know that it might be a pain in the butt sometimes to log into your account and, you know, sign into your Google account for YouTube. But if you do, I appreciate the subscription. And yeah, check out this video right here that talks a little bit more about some of my other aquariums.